Okay. Hello, everybody.
Hi, guys.
We have Eric, our guest for today, already in the room. Eric, are you going to share a presentation? You should be able to share your screen if you like.
Are you ready for me just to go right into it?
Let's give some minutes so people can join us. We're only 2 minutes on the time. So, how are you today?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing great, actually. I live in Florida, and so we are having absolutely beautiful weather right now. I could not complain whatsoever.
Oh, you're so lucky.
Where do you live?
Myself, Argentina, in the south. I'm in Patagonia, so it's really cold here.
You live in Argentina? Sweet.
Yeah,
My neighbors are from Argentina. Well, one's from Argentina. The wife is from Honduras.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So how are you doing?
Oh, I'm fine. How is everybody doing? Hello, Macy.
Yeah.
I can see you were the winner this week for the Learnathon.
Yes, that was awesome. Super excited.
Congratulations.
I'm still trying to finish up yesterday's video too. I'm still playing catch up because
there's a lot.
Real estate is happening on the Southern Oregon coast, man.
Well, that's good. That's a good problem to have if it's a problem. Too busy.
Macy, what'd you say? Which coast was that?
Southern Oregon coast.
Oh, okay, cool.
And we have amazing weather here, so.
I'll be in Bend in a couple of weeks.
Nice.
Yeah, I've never been up that area. Been to Portland only, but Bend is going to be a new one for me.
Nice. Yeah.
All right. Well, we got people from Oregon, Florida. What else we got going on? Anyone else in Florida?
Again. From Florida, let's see. I know we have Melissa's from Kentucky. I'm from Michigan. Who else is on here that I know off the top of my head?
Yeah, Indy here.
Mindy. Where are you from again, Mindy? I can't remember.
Indy.
Indiana. Oh, Indiana. I'm like, what? Sorry.
Yeah, Mindy from Indy.
I know. I thought there was like a lag or you were freezing and you were saying your name is Mindy you're Mindy from Indy. I get it.
Yes, I am. There probably is a lag. My phone service has been absolutely terrible today. But we'll just pick up and move on.
No worries. Yeah.
It looks like we got Margaret from Naples, Angie in Phoenix, Maria, Davenport. So I live in St. Pete for all the Florida people, if y'all have ever been there. Yeah? All right. Mindy likes it.
Yeah.
Mindy, do you come down from Indy to come visit here?
Yeah, I love St. Pete, Clearwater area. We like John's Pass a lot.
Yep. Yeah, it's a fun city, fun town.
I'm down
growing
every year for the Blues Festival in St. Pete.
Yeah. There's Robert.
Blues Festival. What else we got? We got a big reggae festival that comes through town. We got the indie races that come in. Yeah, it's fun stuff. All right. Well, if y'all don't mind, I'm gonna share my screen.
Yes. In the meantime, everybody, I am going to introduce to Eric Cruz. He is the VP of Sales at Propy, and today he's going to talk about the future of real estate transactions with cryptocurrency and blockchain.
Yes. A lot of hype going on around this space. We have a new administration that is very crypto friendly. We have a very blockchain friendly enthusiast administration also. And there's things that are just kind of moving along. And so for anyone that has not heard about Propy, we are a settlement company. We were the first company to have ever RWA'd, or also known as NFT, a real property. We were the first company to have ever transacted real estate with cryptocurrency. And we were the first company to have ever recorded a deed on chain. And so we actually invented the process and the technology in order to transact in a Web3 digital format. So essentially what we've done is we've created a process that of purchasing and selling a house that we're so used to, it takes 30 days typically, right? Sometimes 45 days. And we have turned it into a process that only takes under 24 hours. So it's a pretty spectacular way of doing real estate. It's a click, click, you're done type of way. I will have a short plug. We do have another webinar coming up that is about, you know, what if real estate was like Amazon? Because it can be. And why isn't it? Well, we're going to kind of take a dive into that and what are the stipulations that are holding us back from just doing a click and buy situation. So why do we even do this, right? And so the reason is that there's big issues in the landscape of real estate. And these issues are huge problems because we have outdated systems which require manual work, which is acceptable to human errors. Listen, we love real estate because of the relationship factor of it, right? We love that human quality when it comes to real estate. But the truth is, the more that we touch things, the more things break. The more susceptible to errors there is, right? The title and escrow realm is completely manual data entry right now. And so the more that there's data entry by a human, the more that they're susceptible to what? Errors. So predatory lending is still a thing. Wire fraud, at least is in Florida, is a huge thing. Also in Colorado, for any of you Coloradians out there. And did you know, just since 2022, there was $10 billion lost in wire fraud. In the month of May in Colorado, there was over $32 million lost into wire fraud. So this is something that occurs all the time. And that expensive title policy that the buyer and seller pay for doesn't cover any of that. So it's a very high risk transaction that's not even covered. And this whole title insurance scheme of $20 billion industry, it only has a 4%, less than 4% claim rate. And so there's just multiple failures and failure points. So hacks, title fraud, all that. So just a little bit about us is that we've actually created a transaction engine that's all based on blockchain. So think of us as a license and title and escrow company, but we just have a very unique way of doing things because we are able to transact with crypto. We are actually the only real estate company that has a collaboration with Coinbase, which is one of the US's largest wallet exchanges out there. And so we've been actually recording deeds on chain, well, for over 3 years now. And we've almost done 5 billion in transactions. And out of all of that, guys, we have had 0 wire fraud. We've had 0 title fraud, right? We have a fully integrated process that allows for crypto fraudsters that we wing them out. We were able to do KYC. We were able to do AML. These are, what this stands for is know your customer. And then the AML is called anti-money laundering. So what we do is, as soon as a crypto buyer is interested in purchasing real estate, We instantly put them through this process to make sure that they are who they say they are and that they have the legalities to actually purchase property here. We all know, or some of us know, as crypto as being an anonymous way of transacting, not just real estate, but altogether, right? That people are holding crypto so that it can't be found and that they can buy things with crypto and it can't be traced or can't be tracked. And it's actually not true whatsoever. Blockchain technology is more transparent than any other system we currently have in place right now. Because everything that's done on a chain, it's recorded. It's a ledger. Now, that doesn't necessarily say that, okay, Eric Cruz bought 3 Bitcoin today, but what I'll have is my wallet address, and then that wallet address can then be traced and tracked and see everything that wallet does. Actually, the FBI, for our own country, that's how they track and trace fraudsters, right? And so then there's something that says that less than 1% of all crypto transactions, and we're talking about billions a day, that less than 1% is actually have to do with fraud. Now, we compare that to our US dollar, right? And all of the different uses of the USD and how it's laundered and all of this. Crypto is actually way more secure and way more transparent than it is than the USD, than our own dollar. All right, and so we've created this process with the help of AI to really drive the escrow experience to make transactions seamless, but also we have the ability to make it 24 hours, 7 days a week. Now, this is a beautiful thing because anyone that is actually looking to purchase a home quickly can actually take advantage of this. So we did our first Bitcoin-backed loan in January. And for anyone out there that owns Bitcoin, I have a question for you. If you've owned Bitcoin, when was the last time you sold it? And about 100% of you are going to say never. And the reason being is because Bitcoiners see the value in Bitcoin and they know that the value of Bitcoin is going to increase for the eternity of Bitcoin. And so why are they ever going to sell it? Why would they ever want to use it? And real Bitcoiners don't. So we've came up with a product to allow individuals that have Bitcoin not to sell Bitcoin, but to leverage it and use it towards buying a property. It's a win-win, right? So what this does for you as an agent is it provides you with another ability, another way, another spectrum of buyer for any property. Okay, so think about it like this way. You have a listing. You obviously want to get that listing sold. Being able to transact with crypto will open up an entire new spectrum of buyers for that listing. Do you agree with that? You with me? Now, the beautiful thing about a crypto escrow is that the seller does not have to necessarily accept crypto. Because of our collaboration with Coinbase, guys, we can take crypto in, we instantly exchange it into USD, and so USD goes out. A beautiful thing. So the seller doesn't even realize that a crypto buyer came in. Okay? But what you were able to do was list your property as accepting crypto and then open up that whole new buyer pool to a spectrum that you normally wouldn't even have access to. Make sense? Thumbs up? Okay, beautiful stuff. All right, so the crypto process is a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week process. Our AI process is a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week process because we have automation in the background that's opening escrow and doing tasks and processes that normally an escrow officer would if they were able to work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So real estate is changing. If you guys think about this, And you guys think about how even we shop today, right? We don't go into a Blockbuster or a movie store anymore. We simply click a button on our remote and then we order a movie and that's it, right? Going into a bookstore is now obsolete, right? What do? We either order it online and it gets delivered to us, or we download it on our readers and we read it digitally. There's no walking into a bookstore anymore. If you look at grocery shopping, how many of us do online shopping? And either we go pick it up and they load it into our cars, or we get same-day delivery in groceries. And now Amazon has changed the game because now we can order anything we want from Amazon. Some of it we get depending on where you are, obviously. If you're in a rural area, maybe not. But where I live, I can get same-day delivery on items. Next-day delivery is usually most common. But I don't know about you guys, but if I don't get something delivered within the next day, I look for a different supplier, which means 2-day delivery is now too long. But yet when we go under contracts on a Friday evening at 9 o'clock at night, we have to tell our clients, well, we're going to get this thing started on Monday morning. Well, that is going to be obsolete because that's not going to be acceptable to your clients, either on the buy side or on the sell side. So what this means is that we are fueling clients, we're fueling customers with that instant gratification that they are already addicted to. Okay? We broke a record, just to kind of floss this in front of you. We broke our own record last month. From an executed contract to us receiving earnest money deposit was 4 minutes. Okay? And that happened on a Saturday. Think about that. So, how does it actually work? There's a few ways. We all know that we all use an MLS, right? Most of us do. Some of us are pissed off at NAR and say, no, I don't want to use MLS. I'm going to do everything. But for the most part, we all have an MLS access, right? Well, Propy's marketplace acts as an MLS. And because we're very unique in the Web3 and crypto blockchain space, we have over, I think, an average of 56,000 unique visitors every single month. First-time visitors, 56,000 first-time visitors every month. So we have this marketplace that's a great place for you to list your listings, okay? It's a beautiful thing. Buyers can go on there, make offers. Buyers' agents can go on there and make offers. You can be able to actually accept offers, counter offers, and everything on one platform. Once actually executed contract, it's simply click, drag, and drop. Our AI reads over the contract, timelines everything, extracts the information, and knows everything that's happening, and then sends it off. Now, through a crypto deal, it can act a little different. Because we've done deals where, and I'm not going to go down this rabbit hole with y'all, but there's something called a smart contract. And basically what a smart contract is just a computer code that says, okay, when A is complete, then B will start. And only when B is complete, C can start. And so it's a process that is coded. So for the sale that we've done in the state of Hawaii, it was completely 100% automated. So we actually had a house for sale. We digitized that property. It was going to be a completely 100% crypto. The owner, the seller wanted crypto. So we did a full 100% crypto transaction. What we did was a proof of funds, just like a bank does. We had to make sure that individual had the funds that they say they had and that they are who they say they are. So we did all that process. Once they did that, we put them in a wait list where they had access to go into a bidding room. And think about it like this. In the days of buying homes, auctioned homes on the court steps, right? Everyone would show up to the courthouse and they'd bid on a house, right? Whoever was the highest bidder at that point would then what? Would be able to buy that house. Well, we did the same thing. It was just more of a virtual setting, okay? Everyone got into a waiting room. They were able to bid on that property. At the end of that auction, it was a 48-hour auction. At the end of that auction, whoever was the highest bidder, their funds were held in a smart contract. As soon as that bid was over, smart contracts engaged, released funds to the seller, and ownership switched hands instantly. This was all done again. I don't know what it is about Saturday, but it was done on a Saturday, and there wasn't any human involvement. So, can real estate really act in like Amazon? And the answer is 100% it can. And so when I talk about deeds on chain, what does this actually mean? Okay, because every deed that we record, not only do we record on the county level, but we also record on blockchain. And if you guys see this QR code down here, that's every deed that we have recorded has a QR code there. So once it's scanned, it actually takes you to the transaction itself on the blockchain that it has been recorded on. Okay, we have done everything on Ethereum because Ethereum is a public chain. Anyone can see any transaction that's ever occurred on that chain. So think about this. If every deed in the US, okay, or let's actually even shrink that down. If every deed was recorded in the county that you work in, if every deed in that county was recorded on blockchain, we would know who the last owner was, and it's the single source of truth. Why? It's because if it's on blockchain, it cannot be tampered with. It cannot be changed. It's immutable. Which means that whoever recorded that last deed is the true owner of that property, which means there'd be no need for a title company to go back in time 50 years to assure that the person selling the house has the right to sell the house and that the buyer has the right to purchase the house, which means there would be no need for title insurance. And so this process that we're so used to, the sellers that are so used to paying these policies, these buyers that are in some counties that are so used to paying these policies simply vanishes. Beautiful thing. So there is that QR code. It's pretty cool. Now I'm going to tell this. I do this not to brag. I only just bring this up because to show you that the growth in this process is wanted, is needed. Okay. This is Q3 of 2024. I need to update this slide because Q1 of this year, we had the greatest quarter that we've ever had in history. Which means is that there is a want for change when it comes to real estate. Right? There is a new type of buyer. There's a new type of seller. They want something more digital. They want something quicker, right? They need to have that instant gratification fueled. And we see this a lot in the younger groups. And these younger groups are who? They're first-time home buyers. This statistic's a little old, 2022. But it's still relative, and I'll tell you why. But in 2022, over 11.5% of all first-time home buyers use cryptocurrency for a down payment. That is a lot. 11.5%, more than. And so why this old statistic is relevant is because back in 2020 and 2021, there was something called a halving. See, cryptocurrency markets rotate every 4 years. And if you remember back in 2021, Bitcoin hit 77,000 and everyone about lost their minds. And now here we are today. It's at 107,582. And the reason being is this, is that there's something that occurs every 4 years in Bitcoin and it's called a halving. And what this means is that the miners that are mining for Bitcoin, their reward gets cut in half. And by doing that, that means that there is more demand. They have to mine more to get more rewarded, right? To get more Bitcoin. So what it does is it's a classic supply and demand. You cut supply, demand gets higher. And so this is why we see this influx in these bull markets. Well, guess what? The last halving was last year in May. And so now here we are again, and we're seeing Bitcoin hitting 110,000, and now it's back up to 107,000. And so it's a rotation. And so we're expecting between this year and next year, in 2026, that there's going to be closer to 20-25% of first-time home buyers that are stepping up into the real estate market and wanting to use crypto. But here's a beautiful thing. They don't have to sell it off anymore, right? They can use it. They can leverage it. So Gen Zs are embracing cryptocurrency ownership at the same rate as real estate ownership. As we see here, 28% of all young Americans invest in some sort of digital asset. Wild. 94% of all cryptocurrency buyers are Gen Z and millennials. 94%. These are the individuals, team, that are buying homes. So there are two major key points to this, right? You hear me say crypto and you hear me say blockchain. So let's kind of bring it back a little bit. When I say crypto, I'm talking about cryptocurrency. It's exactly that. It's a currency. It's a digital money that only exists on the internet, right? You can buy it, you can sell it, you can trade it, just like regular money, just like anything else. But there is just no physicality to it, okay? It's just numbers on a screen. But if you think about it, guys, we've already been in a digital currency stage for a long time, right? Anyone online bank currently? That's all digital, right? We don't have our savings account in under our mattress anymore. It's just in our banks. And so we just trust that whatever that number is that the bank tells us is accurate, right? And then we move money around, we use credit cards, we pay things. I mean, the only time that I have ever gone to an ATM was before I go to Vegas, right? That's the only time. Tangible cash is no longer needed anymore. Because now we have things like Zelle, we have things like PayPal, we have things like Venmo. And if we actually need to move money, we just send it digitally. Well, so we've already lived in a cryptocurrency type of world for a decade. So it should come at no surprise that now cryptocurrency is now being adopted across our governments and other states and countries. But blockchain is the actual record keeping of every crypto transaction. Think of blockchain as a ledger, right? When you go onto your banking records, you can see a statement, right? Everything that you did in your bank account, you see. Well, multiply that by every single user. And that's what a cryptocurrency is. That's what blockchain is. It's just a ledger. It's just showing who bought what at what time, at what amount, and all that. Who transacted what at what amount, when. Who recorded what document at what time and where. And that's all it is. So it's just a ledger that's doing all this. The beautiful thing about this ledger is that it's decentralized, which means is that there's no one point of interception. If we look at real estate deeds are recorded where? One area. Where is that? The county records. If it was all recorded on blockchain, we're talking about that same report, that same record would now be dispersed amongst thousands of different servers. So it makes it a lot more difficult to hack, right? Of going in there, changing records, going in there, fraudulized records. You can't do it because you'd have to do everything all at the same time without one other server realizing what you're trying to do. It has never been done. All right. So crypto is the currency, blockchain is the technology, and there's many currencies. We all know it. We know Bitcoin. Ethereum is probably the second largest one. XRP is probably the third largest one that people know about. There's something called a stable coin. Stable coin is like Tether here, USDT, And also there's something called USDC. And what this means is that we all know how much cryptocurrencies can fluctuate in price, right? In action. Stable coins follows what the US dollar is at all times. So it's always at 1. It doesn't fluctuate much. Very, 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 very little, like 0.001%. And so it's always at 1, which means that you can actually transact with cryptocurrency as if it's dollars, dollar to dollar if you wanted to. Okay. But the benefits of transacting with cryptocurrency is the security. It's immutable. It prevents fraud, right? It's completely transparent. Every single transaction is recorded publicly, and it's accountable. And because it's decentralized, this eliminates any kind of single point of failures. So even if a server goes down, guess what? That exact records keep on going on 1,000 other places, which makes it very efficient, especially when you start talking about smart contracts and automating the process, like I shared with you earlier with that sale that we did in Hawaii. But as you know, even today, I mean, it's still new, but there's misconceptions, right? Well, what are these misconceptions? Oh, well, it's criminals use it, right? They're laundering sex trafficking. They're laundering money. No, I don't think so. Well, I'm sure it does happen. I'm not saying it doesn't. Blockchain's only application is cryptocurrency. Blockchain is just a storage mechanism. And of course, crypto transactions are anonymous, that we just don't know anything, right? We don't know who's doing it, but that's not the truth. Here is the truth, that blockchain technology is inherently way more secure than any McAfee, AVG, or any other security system out there. It is self-driven, okay? It is 100% transparent. Everything that occurs is on it, which means that true ownership exists on blockchain. Okay, you have full control of it. Guys, think about that. There's no middle intermediaries, right? There's no middlemen. So for instance, what I mean is this, and why it's so beautiful is this. If I wanted to send Robert Carmen $30,000 right now, how easy is that going to be? How instant is that going to be? Will my bank just let me Zelle him $30,000? Robert, what do you think?
I'm still waiting for it to come through.
Which is the second issue. It's timely. But what I'm saying is you can't. Your bank won't allow you to. You need permission from them to send that amount of money. Right? I can't go into the bank and say, hey, I need 30 grand. They're going to say, excuse me, why? Fill out this form. Maybe we'll have it to you tomorrow. If I want to send $30,000 worth of Bitcoin to Robert, I can do that and he'll have it in his wallet under 30 seconds. Why? Because I am the true owner of it. See, we think we own our money. But if we need permission to do what we want with our own money, who really owns it? The banking institutions. Okay, they just allow us to have access to it sometimes. If you go to ATM, I have a $1,000 limit. I cannot pull out more than $1,000 at ATM of my own money. But if I wanted to, I can pull out 100 grand of cryptocurrency if I wanted to and put it into my account instantly. No one asking me. It's my money. I do what I want with it. Okay. So ownership, it's true ownership and full control over it. So let's also talk about how this actually reflects in the housing, in real estate, right? That's what we're all here for. We're talking about real ownership. If I owned a house free and clear, okay, I have it. It's mine. I should be able to do whatever I want with it. Okay. Now, how many instances have you guys heard of people fractionalizing ownership or trading homes for something else. You don't hear about it often. So if you think of things like Craigslist, okay, and you think of Facebook Marketplace, if I was selling a bicycle, if I was selling a motorcycle, if I was selling a car, I'd go on there and say, hey, I'm selling this 67 Camaro. I'm up for trades though. Okay, I could, if I wanted to, I could just trade off that 67 Camaro because why? Because I own it free and clear. I can do whatever I want with it. I own the title to it. You can't do that with homes, but you can, because if it's digitized and it's held in a wallet, the ownership is held digitally. Couldn't I just transfer that digital token to Robert and now he is the owner of that home? Couldn't I then create a way to actually fractionalize that token in several different areas? And now all 30 people that are in this room, 29 minus myself, now have a 30th% of ownership of my property. And true ownership. I'm not talking about this what is it called? What's the vacation stuff called? Timeshare stuff, where you never actually own it. I'm talking about true ownership and a record of it showing that you do own a 30th of that property. So it's true ownership, and you have full control over doing whatever you want. All right, and because it's decentralized, guys, of course, not a single failure point. It does it well. This actually strengthens the framework. And I'll tell you how relative this is. Just yesterday, I was in talks with a very large county here in Florida about setting up a system for their county to record all deeds on chain. So they're getting rid of, and they're interested in getting rid of how their county currently stores the records. Isn't that interesting? And so this is how it works. There are miners, right, that have these very robust, very robust computer systems that are solving equations, right? Validating processes, validating transactions. The consensus are there. Hashes are grown. It's immutable ledger is created, and now it's a person-to-person network. So if you see right here, it's a block, a hash, a block, a hash, a block. And so they call it blockchain because these blocks are then chained together of it, and all it is just information. That's really all that we're looking at here. Some blockchain examples. Well, Bitcoin has their own blockchain. Ethereum has their own blockchain. XRP has their own blockchain, right? There are companies out there that do not have their own blockchain, but they still kind of have a cryptocurrency. We call that a token, not cryptocurrency. It's a token. Propy is one of those. We don't have our own blockchain. We don't need it. We don't have our, excuse me, let me take it back. We don't have our own public blockchain, because we want it to be on Ethereum, where anyone around the globe will be able to see the transaction. Okay, so we use Ethereum, and plus they have smart contract capability. So through AI automation, the process is now becoming a little bit more self-driven. Escrow can be open, data is collected, payments can be received, and ownership exchanges hands. Now, what we just did in Hawaii with that sale and having instant, the funds being sent out instantly, all completely automated, 100% automated, could be a way that the future of real estate is, right? Currently, right now, it's only done via cryptocurrency. It kind of seems a little out there, I'm sure, for most of you. But if we kind of look at where we've gotten in the last just 5 years, technologically wise, and if we look at how much adoption in that's the last year we've had with cryptocurrency, we have ETFs on Wall Street, right? We have states that are having Bitcoin reserves. We have the US government getting involved. We have blockchains that are being created. I'm going to be guys, next week, I'm speaking with one of the presidential candidates of Peru. So to see if we can set up some sort of blockchain system for their entire country to record real estate transactions. So this is a thing. There's this whole process of like bidding for houses online and then getting it seem out there. It does. But if you think about where it could be in the next 5 years, it's not going to seem out there. The benefit that you have right now is that you're hearing about real use cases that have already occurred. It's the beginning of this. So I implore you all to go out there and start doing a little bit of research, okay? Start implementing some of this into your strategies. Crypto escrow, a beautiful thing. I gotta create this next slide. I know I gotta update it, it's old. But guys, in the US, Coinbase has over 56 million users on their platform. 56 million. It's a very trusted company. We have been able to, and this is an old one because now over 250,000. We have over 250,000 property addresses that are minted on chain. Over $10 billion worth of real estate that's there. And we keep adding, and we keep adding, and we keep adding. It keeps on going, keeps on going. There is a full automated process where you guys can mint the address. It can be yours that you live in, and you can actually own that that address. Okay. Then you can upgrade and tier up to level 2, and you can NFT your deed, which means that you can actually hold your deed, a digital certificate of your house deed, you can hold inside of your crypto wallet. Pretty cool. And then there's a full-blown RWA status where you can actually digitize your entire property. All right. And that all can be done on your phone. Wow. Crazy. All right. So yes, we're the leader in this space. We've been around since 2017. We've been acknowledged by, gosh, BBC World News and everything for our processes. Our platform is used in all 50 states. Our marketplace is used globally. Okay, we have houses on there that are in Argentina. That there are people that are wanting to accept crypto for the house. Okay. Propy.com. You guys go on there, start reading up on it. If you guys haven't seen this beautiful woman, Natalia Karyaneva, she is our CEO and founder of Propy. She's everywhere. If you guys have heard of the name Grant Cardone, he's one of our clients. He's actually has one of his listings with us right now. Beautiful beach house in South Beach in Miami. 42 million. He wants Bitcoins. Who's he come to? Comes to us. Okay. So let's talk about the actual facilitation of a crypto transaction. Firstly, if you guys get a buyer that says, hey, I want to use crypto, all right, the very first thing you're going to do, and write this down, is you are going to put them through KYC. Okay, that stands for Know Your Customer. We have to make sure that that person is who they say they are. Okay, so we go through that process. All of this is at no cost, and we do it all at Propy. After they pass KYC and they can prove who they are, okay, we then put them through also that AML. It's all the same process. Make sure they have the legalities to purchase property here in the US, right? Are they on the most wanted list somewhere? We hope not. Are they a terrorist somewhere? We hope not. Here in Florida, we have some stipulations, okay? We're a little tough on Russian and the Chinese. And so they aren't able to purchase properties in certain regions in the state. So we got to make sure that they, you know, have the legalities to purchase. And so we can do the same also in the states that you guys live, obviously. And so we have this, once we do that, then we have to do what? We have, just like a bank, We can't just take their word and say, okay, these guys have crypto, let's take their word for it. No, we have to make sure they have what they say they have, right? So just like how you guys work with lenders and you guys say, okay, hey, get this person pre-approved, let me know how much we should be shopping for, right? If we take their word, man, they're looking at waterfront properties 1.5 plus, you know, and who knows? They're probably a school teacher, single parent school teacher looking for those properties. So what do? We make sure that they can afford and they can prove the income that they currently have. So just like that, we do the same thing. It's just on a crypto digital stage. We make sure that they have the cryptocurrency that they say they have, and most importantly, that they have access to it, right? That truly is their wallet and not just a screenshot of something somewhere else. So we do all of that. Then what do? We have to do our title work. We got to make sure we still have to do it. We got to make sure that the individuals that own the house currently have the rights to sell, and that this buyer, once the process happens, will have true ownership of the property. And of course, what do we have to do? I'll have to do lien searches. Then there's going to be appraisals that get done. Then there's going to be, I mean, everything that we do as a normal real estate transaction is exactly what we do on a crypto transaction. The only difference is that we're facilitating a digital currency. That's it. So everything that you're used to, I mean, escrow is open, inspections are done, prices are negotiated, everything is completely normal. It's just that we're taking in a different currency. Now, that is if we're doing a crypto to USD. The only difference is that we're taking in crypto, converting it, and then USD goes out. If we're doing crypto to crypto, it's even quicker. We facilitate it. Crypto goes in, the funds goes into a smart contract. Once that goes in, it goes out into another smart contract, which is going to the seller's wallet. Okay. The escrow company doesn't even touch the funds. We just set up the contracts to do it. Self-guided. It's beautiful. But there's volatility, right? And so they're like, hey, well, what if these guys are using Bitcoin? Well, gosh, Bitcoin can fluctuate $500 in a fraction of a second. So what we always want to do is we always bump up a little bit of a margin to make sure if there is anything that if it does fluctuate, that doesn't, you know, the price remains the same at least, right? So $500,000 is always going to be $500,000 worth, but the equivalent of Bitcoin could adjust. So the seller will always get the right amount. It's just a matter of how much crypto is going out of the buyer's wallet. All right. But this is all done a matter of seconds. All right. One of the biggest advantages with doing this and using Propy for this is that we handle everything. So you guys don't have to remember all of this I'm telling you about what KYC is, what AML is, all of this. It's great that you do, because if you start talking to people, you start talking their language, right? Who are they going to trust? Are they going to trust an agent that says, hey, man, I don't know anything about crypto, but I'm going to wing it? Or are they going to trust someone that says, hey, I understand what's going on. We got to put you through a KYC process firstly. Let's get you over to one of the people that we know. Probably the later of the two. So KYC, proof of funds, we identify which property now that they're going to be buying. Okay. We collaborate with our agent. Offers are made. Smart contracts are exchanged. Payment, title transfers, it's all done. So can this be a normal 30-day process? Absolutely. If you have a very tech-forward type of seller that wants crypto, man, we can do this in 24 hours and their house could be done. It could be a beautiful thing. We could even get PR involved if you wanted to and get on the local news that someone's actually selling a digital property. How beautiful would that be? Mindy, we need you on the front page. Mindy from Indy. All right. So this means what? 24/7 online payments. There's going to be no wire fraud when we're looking at crypto. Okay. Even our normal processes, a regular transaction, a traditional transaction, we still don't have wire fraud because we use ACH. We don't even use wiring. So very similar to Venmo or Zelle. Beautiful. Which means that we can take payment 24 hours a day, 7 days a week too. So no fraud. When we're looking at crypto, we're looking at true ownership, full custody, right? So now we're looking at lower fees, reduce exposure. The closing, tamper-proof. There's nothing to interact. It's all just done, right? All the data is transparent. It's all there, accessible. So we're just looking at transacting very quick, right? Someday, we foresee real estate to be like Amazon, where you can shop for homes, you can put down deposits, make an offer, whatever it is. Does that mean that the job of the real estate agent is going away? No, not at all. Could it? I mean, there's already, you know, for some people, it already has, right? There's still for sale by owners out there. Has FSBOs destroyed your business? No. There's so much action out there. There's so much action out there. You know, even in this dead market, not dead market, I'm going to say different market, just because houses are staying on market a little bit longer. In the state of Florida, there's still 35,000 homes being sold each month. Wouldn't it be nice to capture 1% of that? Right? So there's action out there. Having an edge in what you do separates you from your competition. Being able and have the ability to transact with crypto might actually give you that edge. Being able to transact 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to assure that, hey, we can get money in under 5 minutes, to assure that that buyer is not going to step away and have buyer's remorse over the weekend. Sellers like to hear that. So when we are doing a crypto exchange from crypto to USD, there are fees to it, of course, because, well, just like any currency, right? If you guys go to Mexico for vacation, you grab your dollars, you put it into an exchange, and they give you pesos, right? And it's not one for one. There's a little bit of a fee involved. So it's the same thing with us. We do have a calculator. So if you guys do have a crypto buyer, you're going to reach out to us and say, hey, what are the fees on a, you know, $375,000 conversion? And we can simply just do it for you really quick. All right. So what all this means, guys, team, is that the entire sale of a real estate transaction for you can drastically change, because it has for a lot of other people. The ability to transact with crypto, the ability to record on blockchain, the ability to do faster closings, the ability to be more tech forward, more innovative, sounds sexy, right? And it might just be what you need. All right. We do have AI analytics that are predicting sellers and whatnot. I don't want to really get into that. We did do a bunch of marketing for individuals, our agents. We know how busy you guys are. I just talked to an agent yesterday. She has 16 listings, and she's like, I'm spending 2 hours a day just on marketing. So what are we doing? We're taking care of all of her marketing for her at zero cost. All right. But check this out. We have a crypto certified agent course, which means that you can take our 8 lessons, and after that, you will have an expert view of how crypto works, how blockchain works, what is an NFT, how does an NFT work. I don't understand how could a physical property be digital. By the time you're done with this, you'll have a great understanding. Not only will you have a great understanding, but you'll be able to walk away and actually talk intelligently to sellers, buyers, and whoever you want to. And who are they going to trust? Hey, you got crypto? Let's figure it out together. Or they're going to trust someone that actually has a badge that says, hey, I understand the technology and I know how to do it, right? We have a badge, see this right here, it says Crypto Certified Agent. Everyone that passes this course will get a certification and will get a digital badge that you can actually market yourself as a crypto agent. We have agents that have made big kind of like stickers of this, and they're putting it on their for sale signs. And what's that do? It gets the neighborhood going, wait a minute, crypto accepted, crypto certified agent. They get phone calls. Hey, what is all this about? Who doesn't want their phone to ring? Everyone does. Activity means business. The more people that you talk to is the more business that you might get. And so if people are ringing your phone, that's good for you. Who do you know? Who do you know? Who do you know? What's your situation? What's your circumstances? Who do you know that's selling? Have you ever considered selling? Oh, you know what? Let me tell you this. Now I'm going to go with this. We have this tool, guys. Okay, and a lot of other companies have this too. If you guys have a farming tool, use it. Something that I have found that has been very helpful for getting leads. Now, Alejandro, I don't know what you guys do for your team for leads and farming and whatnot, but you know, everyone sells their home for a reason, right? No one wakes up and says, it's hump day, I'm going to sell my house today, right? No one says that. It's beautiful outside. There's a slight breeze coming in from the southeast. I think today I'm going to sell my house. No, there's life events. Robert, what's one reason why someone sells a house?
Sorry, I got to get off mute. Downsizing.
Downsizing. Angie Diaz, what's another reason someone would sell a house?
Medical emergency.
Medical emergencies. Carol Perry from Southeast Florida. What's one other reason someone would sell a house?
Divorce.
Divorce. So what are all these? These are all life events. Things happen. Right? So, if someone's downsizing, as Angie has said, wouldn't it be wise to then farm areas that you work in, okay? And then say, show me everyone that's an empty nester, that has lived in their house for 15 plus years, that has 60+% of equity, okay? And it's grab all those individuals that are in those areas, and then instead of marketing to them saying, hi, my name is, and I'm an expert in this area. How much more powerful would it be if you actually gave them relative content saying, have you ever considered downsizing? Here are 5 reasons my clients have downsized. Here are the top 10 reasons to downsize. Have you ever considered downsizing? We have the perfect property for you. And so now what you're doing is you're campaigning to individuals that actually have some sort of life event that could be occurring in their life, and this is relative to them. It's so much more powerful than just, hey, I'm a pretty face on a piece of paper. Although it would work for some, I'm just saying. Campaigning has worked in politics for hundreds of years, right? What you guys see, what your politics in your area, what you see, trust me, is not what someone down the street sees, which is not someone that sees on the other side of the tracks sees. Right? So we can use that same technology that they use, that same I don't know, whatever. We can use it in politics, we can put it in real estate and get successful. All right. Anyway, okay. Back to this. If y'all scan this code, you're gonna get 20% off of this, of the normal price, okay? If you guys are interested in doing that. If you guys are interested on speaking to these beautiful people, and you have questions about crypto transactions, you have questions about AI, meet with them, ask them. They love talking to people, All right. We are licensed in 3 states right now. We are in Florida, Arizona, and Colorado. I am sorry, my Michigan people. I'm sorry, Mindy. Florida, Arizona, Colorado. All right. And I will say this. We are in expansion mode, which means by the end of this year, it's going to be 10 states. If you all have a title and escrow company that you love using and you're not in these 3 states, even if you are in these 3 states, and you're like, wow, I would love for them to have this kind of technology, I would like you to warm intro me to them. Because why can't we partner? Or why can't we acquire? So please, please, please. And there's a finder's fee. Sorry, Alejandra, I have to bring this up though. There is a finder's fee if we actually do acquire that title company, okay? We all like money. It's $10,000, just to let y'all know. Okay, we need to grow. All right, that's it from me. I'm sorry guys, this is all we've got. Man, is that sad or what?
Thank you. But there were a few questions in the chat.
Yes, please.
So in the beginning, Radek asked if Propy is the first ever company that works with crypto or the first ever in the USA.
We were the first to ever have done it, and we were the largest one to still do it.
Okay.
Could I have just
And
a
we
quick,
have done international, by the way, as well.
yeah, can I have just quick follow-up question if that's all right?
Please.
Well, do you work only in the US of A, or do you, well, I'm in Europe, so well, the question is there anything we could do together or not right now?
It all just depends on the circumstances. So we have done crypto transactions in Ukraine across seas. We are going to be infiltrating Dubai. So we're actually setting up an office in Dubai. So it really just depends on what the circumstance is in the situation, but it is very possible. A big part of that is that we have to know the laws and the rules of where we're doing this real estate transactions, right? So if we don't understand what it is, then we need to find partners that do know what the heck that we're doing. And then we just kind of, work together on that. But is it possible? Absolutely. But we're going to take it on a case by case.
Okay, can you get my contact from Gogo or for someone and just give me a shout on the private or something like that at some point?
I think we can do something like that. How, Alejandra?
Right.
Yes, of course. I will send
Thank
you Radek's email, and I will introduce you both.
Thanks.
Okay, welcome. So Carol asked, how do you look up a deed on a blockchain?
How do we do what?
Look up a deed on a blockchain.
Yes, I was wondering,
So-
do people have access? Like, could I just right now, even if I don't have Ethereum as an app, can I just look up a deed? That's what I was trying to figure out how, because you could go down to the county and look it up, but how do you look it up on these various, and what if like down the road, how would people know where theirs was stored? You know what I mean? I'm just trying to figure that logistics out from that.
So currently right now, you would actually need to have the transactional code, right? That hash to be able to look it up, which means you'd have to be able to scan the QR code in order to take it to the transaction. The beauty of this is that when we're talking about these counties in Florida that want to set up a system, their system would be on the county level. So you'd be able to go to the county website.
Okay.
And look up that information very easily.
Wow, that's amazing. Blowing my mind.
Good. Where do you live? I didn't see who was speaking.
I'm down in Florida.
Carol? I see you now.
Yep. Yeah, I work in Palm Beach, Martin County.
Oh, cool. Fantastic.
Yeah, so it's I even had a customer that he was actually wanting me to sell his house over on the West Coast, and he wanted to know if he could accept Bitcoin. And this was a couple years ago. So it was, yeah, I told him, I said, it's starting, I'm hearing talk of it, but it wasn't as developed as it is, now it seems a little like it's sneaking into the mainstream.
Carol, what a great excuse to give him a ring and get in front of him again.
Yeah, I'll call him. Now I would
Good.
feel like I would have somebody to have you to contact about it
We
because
always look for a excuse or a reason to call someone, huh? Out of the blue.
right, exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because this all came up because I just had someone offer me Bitcoin for our shed, and and I was like,
Please take it.
Gary, I know, it just okay. I know this is going to seem like debit cards and credit cards soon, but it doesn't feel that way yet. But yeah.
Well, I know. Just know this is that if you think about in the sense of, do you know who Michael Saylor is?
I don't think so.
Okay. Michael Saylor he runs a hedge fund, and he has one of the largest Bitcoin backed holdings, and
Okay.
he buys up hundreds of millions of dollars of Bitcoin like per month. Kathy Wood of ARK Investments, do you know her? No, okay. Kathy Wood, ARK
I
Investments.
wish I knew these people.
ARK Investments, by the way, Kathy Wood is an amazing woman. Just a little background story of her. Wall Street is still pretty seen as a man's world, unfortunately, even today. There's not a lot of women that are top in the Wall Street world, except Kathy Wood. And she has, like a lioness, has fought her way to the top and is one of the most sought after, intelligent, trustworthy hedge fund managers on earth. She is a huge advocate of Bitcoin, and she and her hedge fund gobbles up as much as she can when she can. Cool little story about her. And you'll see on MSNBC News almost on a weekly basis. Very smart. But she lives here where I live in St. Pete. And Natalia and I had the opportunity to go up in her office because she wanted to see, what's all this Propy stuff about? How are you guys actually transacting with crypto? What's it look like for the future and all this? And so we went up to her office, and it was a great moment in our lives. And there was all these very brilliant people, financial individuals, crypto people and traditional people, Wall Street guys, and very smart. And then there was this kid that couldn't have been older than 19 years old. And he was just talking, very intuitive, talking to everyone, asking questions, comes up to me, and him and I are talking. And I'm like, what's going on with this kid? Like, is he kid genius? Like, who is he? Turns out that Kathy earlier that day was at a restaurant having lunch, and people were coming up to her, saying hi, taking selfies with her and whatnot. And so the waiter goes up to her and says, hey, what's going on here? Who are you? And she kind of says, oh, I'm a Wall Street person, whatever. And so he starts asking her questions. Well, that kid was that waiter that she had at lunch, because she was like, hey, I'm having these people come in and talk about crypto and real estate. Why don't you come and maybe you can learn something? So Kathy Wood to me is almost like a hero, because not only does she fight up in this man's world to get on top of in Wall Street and earn respect from everyone, but here she is also reaching out and inviting this 19-year-old kid, and I'm telling you, probably changed his life. So just a fantastic woman. All right.
Yeah, that's great.
But yes, Carol, if anyone offers you Bitcoin, you take it. If you're wary about it, call me personally, get me involved, and I'll walk you through it.
Well, in Palm Beach, I actually had a guy. This is so sad, you guys. I actually had a guy that ran like a Palm Beach business connection thing, and he actually did seminars on buying Bitcoin when it was like $1. But
oh my god,
kind of showing my age here, but yeah, that was the thing. And a lot of it, I understand adoption, because yeah, it's all about cell phones. People didn't, when they first came out, the older people didn't think that they wanted a cell phone, and now they're the worst texters in the world. Like they're the ones great grandma and grandpa are texting and stuff. So it's just it's adoption, and it kind of goes like this, and then it goes like that.
Yep.
And I feel like I'm way behind the curve, unfortunately. But
what all y'all should do is this. And Carol, don't say that you're behind the curve. So I'm going to tell you something. You're in this room right now amongst how many of hundreds of thousands of real estate agents out there. So you're actually ahead of the curve. Okay. But what you all should do is this. Everyone use ChatGPT? Yeah? Okay. Go in ChatGPT and say, can you explain blockchain? Can you explain Bitcoin? Can you explain cryptocurrency? Whatever it is. as if I was 8 years old,
Mhm.
and let it teach you, and then ask it another follow-up question. And just spend 30 minutes, a half an hour, an hour, whatever. When the takeaway that you will get from that is going to be far more than any kind of life experience that you'll have. It's a great start.
And do you get into like the wallets at all? Is that important? You know how like aren't you supposed to transfer it from Coinbase to like a Cardus wallet or something? Or is that maybe beyond this conversation?
It
Maybe.
is. I'll tell you what, if y'all are really interested in this kind of stuff, take the CCA course.
Okay.
There is so much information on that, and it's a self-paced course. So it's not like you have to sit there all for 8 lessons. You can do it as at your own pace. And so, and not only that, not only does it explain it, it puts it in perspective to our industry as well. So it'll really help you out. But yes, wallets, and there's different kinds of wallets. We're doing a transaction right now that there's something called a cold wallet. So basically what that is, like a USB drive. Okay. And all the crypto is actually held inside that. Why? Because computers can get hacked and all of that. You can't hack something that's in your hand, right? If it's not attached to something. And so this woman that's purchasing a house in South Florida right now, all of her crypto is on this USB drive. And so what we're doing is we're having to get her to take it off that USB drive and then put it into a wallet, a digital wallet, so that she can transact with it. So there's many types of different wallets, and depending on what your need is and what you're doing with it. Yeah. I mean, there's even people there was at one point, a couple of years ago, there was rappers that had their cold wallets around like their gold chains, and that they were like flossing that they are like crypto people.
Mhm.
But great question.
Very interesting.
Thank you. So Angie had a couple of questions too. Angie, would you like to ask them yourself?
Yes. Hi, Eric.
Hi.
So I come from the title world. I worked in a title company for over 18 years. So
wow. As
an
escrow officer?
I'm sorry?
As an escrow officer?
No, I was on the title side. So I
Okay.
actually was right underneath underwriting.
Cool.
So my brain thinks title all the time, and claims and clearing title and all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So my question was, how do you ensure, but I think you kind of answered this already, up to the blockchain moment where we have a crypto purchaser. So we are looking at title via just county records. Are you partnering with the local title company to do that title chain, or how does that work?
We are the title company.
Okay.
So I should say we own title companies. So Propy, who I work with, is a technology company, and then we own Propy Title, and Propy Title is who does all the title and escrow procedures for us. Okay.
Okay. Gotcha. I think I've come across a few transactions with property title.
Okay.
So are you guys in Maricopa County operating? I know you said you're operating in Arizona. Is it the entire state of Arizona?
We're all over Phoenix.
Okay.
Yep. And Arizona, the whole state. We're all over Arizona. So I want to be clear about this, is that we are still running title exactly like a regular title company. Okay. We just add that extra benefit of security by recording every deed on chain. All right. Now, at some point, because we're getting to this time now, that counties are seeing, wow, this process is really kind of automated. It's very easy to use. We don't have to worry about fraud. We don't have to do a lot of things. And so they're starting to see the use cases of blockchain, understanding how they can benefit from them, but most importantly, how the people of the county can benefit from it. And they wanted to implement systems. So as of today, we have to record the deeds not only on blockchain, but also on the county level. Okay, we have to do it. There will be a time, and we're working towards a time that there will not be a county record. The county record will be that blockchain record. And then once we're at that point, it'll be a beautiful thing, because now we won't need, the consumer wouldn't need to buy title insurance policies to ensure that they're the true owner, because it's just there. And if they do want some sort of insurance, it's not going to be thousands of dollars. It can be very minimal.
Very interesting. My second question was, so property tax, homeowners insurance, that all gets handled through property title. You become the escrow agent as well. And just like
Correct.
normal?
Yep. Everything's normal. We just have the technology and the ability to transact with crypto on blockchain.
Very interesting. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, and I know we are on time, but Margaret also had a question. Margaret
He answered that already.
Okay, okay.
Thank
good.
you.
Thank you. Okay, so do
That's
you
it?
have more questions?
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
That's it.
Okay. I just want to say thanks, guys, everyone, for being here. It was great being here. Thanks for the invite, Alejandra, and thank you, Gogo, for having us here. If you guys do have any questions at all, please reach out. You can feel free to email me. My email is ERIC, my first name, @propy.com. Actually, let me put this up.
I'm typing it here.
Okay.
Eric.
Easiest email ever.
Yeah. Oh, I can't.
Eric@propy.com.
Yes, there it is.
Yeah, feel free to reach out if you have any questions at all. You know, because this is all kind of new to a lot of people, it's our job also not just to you know, get out there and you know, ask for business, but it's also our job to educate, you know. And so the more educated that you are, the more that you can talk to your clients, the better that you'll be selling transactions and deals and become, you know, setting yourself apart from your competition. So having an edge is key in this market. And this could just be that winning factor for y'all. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you all being here.
You.
And Alejandra, if you don't need me, I'll see you later.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for being
Bye,
here.
Bye.
Goodbye, everybody. Thank you for being here.
Thank you all.